Hello, dreamers, doers, believers, and achievers, wonderful winners, and powerful people. How are you? I am Dwayne Shigg, author of Encouragements for Tough Times. We're all dealing with tough times in our lives. Some of them are COVID connected, and some of them are not. But I have a brand new book out. It's called Encouragement for Tough Times, encouraging you, helping you with practical information as you go through your difficulties. There's a section in the book called I Can't Sing, and the focus on that is to help us focus on what we can do, because when people get in trouble, one of the first things they do is talk about what they can't do. So I want to flip that in your mind to focus on what you can do. But we'll get into that later. Today, we're talking to a wonderful, powerful woman, a speaker, and guess what? She can sing too, y'all. We're talking to Miss Shelby Bowers. She's going to talk to us today on encouragements for tough times. We're going to talk to her about some tough times that she's had, and she's going to help us deal with our tough times. Miss Shelby, how are you today?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy woman, but I appreciate your time to help our audience in dealing with their tough times. 2020 has come and gone, and a lot of people have had toughness in their day in 2020, but some before that. Help our people and talking about maybe your tough times, and we're going to ask you to help our people with how you made it through, with in particular with your tough times.
Okay, well, like I had expressed to Dr. Shigg earlier, I could say honestly that for the last 5 years of my life, I consider it one large, tough time. But one thing that probably would stick out most to most people, and if they already know me, they would probably already have an understanding of what it was. But to those who don't know me, I went through a battle with cancer. And it was, to say the least, a lot. It was probably the scariest, the most difficult, the baffling. I don't even know if bafflingest is a word. I'm sure it's not, but it just had me confounded, trying to think, why me? And I can remember, just real quickly, many years, because my mother passed with cancer. And so to hear that I now had it, I remember having conversations with God for almost most of my life. I would say, okay, God, that's not how I'm going out of here. That's not how I'm going out of here. And so when I finally found out I was sick with cancer, and then it was determined that I was stage 4, and that blew my mind. I said, okay, well, if I have to have it, it can't be that. It has to be the beginning, because that's not what's taking me out of here.
Right.
And stage 4, honestly, when you think stage 4, all you think from that point forward is, okay, when am I going to die? Not am I going to die, or I can beat this, but when am I going to die? But the thing about it for me, and I don't even know if anybody else had this struggle, but it wasn't a struggle. It was the cancer and the treatments and all of those things were struggles. But there was always a sense of clarity in my mind that this was not the end for me. I was not going to die. And I promise you, I kept hearing God whisper, you're not going to die. And so getting through it was a struggle. Getting through it, I mean, not just suffering myself, but watching my children suffer with me. Watching my siblings suffer with me. Watching my close friends, and you could see on their faces where they felt like there was nothing they could do. But the whole time, I never felt like I was going to die. And I'm sure that had everything to do with my faith.
That's I'm going to ask you, how were you able to cope through that? And obviously, your faith helped you. Along with your faith, were there some things that you practically put in action to help you cope and get through? Because people have tough times health-wise, such as yourself, tough times in other areas, and needing something to get up day to day. So what, along with your faith or the activation of your faith, how did that look from a day-to-day perspective to help you cope, deal, get through?
Well, honestly, outside of my faith, and that was a grand part of it, um, I was never alone.
Mm.
Everything I went through, I was never alone. Every treatment I went to, whether it was chemo or radiation, I was never alone. My sister went to majority of them, and when she couldn't go to the chemos, she called in a sub. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, took me to every radiation. And then when I got home, my other two children would care for me. I never slept alone. Somebody
Mm.
was always in the bed with me because I required um, touch. I needed to feel somebody there.
Okay.
And that's what helped me get through that moment, those moments, because it was rough.
Yeah.
But I mean, just being able to look over and saw that I wasn't alone. And I mean, if we go back to what we're taught in our foundation, we know that with Christ, we're never alone.
Right.
And that was my demonstration every single morning, every single time I woke up.
Wow.
Somebody was right there.
So
So,
that makes sense, and that was helpful for you as it relates to your situation, the cancer. But can you speak to, from your experience, having people with you, and in times of you helping somebody else, being with them, can you speak to how important it is not to be alone while you're going through whatever your tough time is?
um, well, yeah, if you really think about it, if you're trying to struggle with whatever your struggle is, whatever your rough moment is, and you have the sense or you feel like that you're in this by yourself, it would tend to put you in a place of no hope.
Ah.
Uh, and because I was always cared for and there was always someone there with me, um, um, I always had hope. I would wake up to see my children,
Wow.
and they were my reason every day. So I knew, okay, I've got hope, and I trust God, and I know that He's going to walk me through this, no matter how hard and how endless this feels. If I just hold on one more day,
One more
if I
day.
just hold on one more hour, I'm gonna get through it. Um,
Oh.
and there were times, and I know that maybe everyone listening is not a believer, but every time I was struggling for sleeping or in pain, I would just call His name, and I would just be whispering, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And there was a peace that would come over me.
Wow.
So being able to have someone with you, like even those who are alone, but they have Christ, they know they're not alone. So just having someone there gives you the hope to push through, the encouragement to push through, the strength even to push through whatever it is you're going through, because there's always the concept, there's always light at the end of the tunnel if you just push through.
That's powerful. So the hope, so the partnership, whoever's with you, brings the hope. And so that gives you what you need. If I'm reading you correctly, that gives you what you need to go to one more appointment, or if it's a job problem, go to one more interview, or if
Right.
it's a business, make one more phone call. All of those
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Wow, very good. Let me ask you, Miss Shelby, out of all of this, was there a particular lesson that you learned, that you remembered, that you derived from the whole situation?
I think people have asked me that a couple of times, and I keep saying, God, is there a particular lesson? But really what struck me through all of that was while I was going through, going to appointments and all of that, I saw people who were alone and their head was drooped and sunken, and they just looked sad. And even when I would go to chemo, I would make the people laugh because there was always somebody else feeding me, positive energy, feeding me. Even when I would have a sad moment, there was somebody to feed me and encourage me and uplift me. And so he gave me a greater compassion for those people when they were alone. So I would find myself, because this was well before COVID, speaking to them, asking them how they were doing, just having conversations with them that we don't know that if who they had to go home to. I don't know if they had anyone to go home to or anyone that would encourage them and uplift them and hold them up through this process. So I just felt like it was my duty, my purpose at that time to be an encouragement and an uplift to someone else, whoever it is I encounter. So it strikes me to do that all the time now.
How do you're going through your own cancer issues. And so how do you encourage somebody else while you're bleeding, if you will? I mean,
right.
And so, if I'm reading you correctly, if a person is in their tough times, along with not being alone, in your situation it did, but would you say that is something that could help someone go through their tough times, go through their tough tunnel, to still find a way to give, to sow, to help to be a helper, even though you're in need of help? Would you say that that's something that could help someone make it through a tough time, whatever there is?
Absolutely, because it allows you to take the focus off of yourself.
Woo! Wait a minute. I got to find an offering to give you for that. I'll cash app you. Go ahead.
It's the truth, though. And with everything we go through in life, if we just stop focusing on our own issues and be a help as best you can to the people and the situations around you, often you'll see that your situation in and of itself somehow gets worked out and resolved and ends up in a better place. I mean, you say, well, how is getting cancer? You end up in a better place. Well, I mean, my mindset is different. Before, I mean, though I loved God and I trusted God, I didn't focus like I should have on him. I didn't give him my time, and I didn't have as great appreciation for his power and his love and his promises. So,
So yeah. So having gone through that, greater compassion, having gone through that, more, not just more compassionate, but more can recognize, like you said, when you went to chemo, you see the sadness on people. So recognizing the need, you're in a better position, would you say, to recognize the need?
Yes, absolutely. Discerning. Absolutely.
Discerning. That's it. Discerning so that you can serve. Okay. That's great. If you're just joining us, we're here at Encouragement for Tough Time. We're talking to Shelby Bowers, and she has helped so many of us with her talking about her tough times. Want to jump into your business, but before we jump there, want to ask you, as we get ready to close out, take some time and help some of our viewers as they deal with. You're on the other side of the storm, I would say, but some people are still in theirs. Some people are right in the eye of it, and they're trying to figure out, what do I do? So take a couple of minutes and help somebody, and give them some encouragement for their tough time.
Well, I would want to say to whoever is going through, or shoot, we all going through something.
Right.
What Bishop say, if we ain't in it, we just finished it,
right.
or we on our way in. Whatever it is. If you, first of all, again, like I said, don't focus so much on your matter, but trust God. Trust the healer, the deliverer, to be a man of his word. And I'm a true and firm believer in him being a man of his word. He is not a man that he should lie.
Right.
So for those of you who are going through, take one more step.
Ooh.
Just take one more step. It seems impossible. And I'm here to tell you, I had many days where it felt like I couldn't move one more moment, but I took one more step. Just one more step. And you will begin to see how it gets easier as you go. Like when you're working out. When you first start working out, it is funny. When you first start the workout, when you first on that elliptical, those first 3 to 5 minutes, you're like, I don't want to do this. I can't make it. I'm not going to make it. But as you hit that 6 minute, you start feeling something, and there's a rejuvenation that kind of comes through. You just have to trust that if you just keep taking the next step, that you will get through this. Hang in there. Hold on. Keep reaching. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Keep doing whatever it is you got to do, and reach out to somebody. Reach out to somebody.
I like that.
You don't have to do this alone. Whatever it is you're going through, if it's an ear you need, if it's money you need, whatever it is, make a phone call. Do a text, send an email. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
FaceTime. Do something.
Right.
Reach out. Take the next step, and you will find you will be able to, one, get through it, because each one more step gets you further down the path.
Yes. Yes.
So hang in there.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Powerful and practical. And that's what I love about the things that you say. Sometimes when people are getting advice or giving advice, sometimes it's, principally it's correct, but it's kind of lofty and not as practical. But I loved all the things that you said were very practical. Now you've come through that. Let's talk about your real estate business. Talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, quickly is at the end of all of being sick, my job let me go.
Okay.
So I'm sitting at home going, what? What am I supposed to do with this? I'm living on half the money and twice the bills. Okay, God. Okay. I know you're going to work this one out too. So I took the time in 19 to start trying to reinvent myself. And I said, I've always wanted to do real estate. It's been an ambition of mine for many, many years. And so I took the class. And then what's funny is I had scheduled to take the test in 2020, March 25th.
Wow.
The world shut down on the 15th of March. So I was like, okay, God, what's up? This was the plan. And so for a while, I just kind of got sad. But then all of a sudden, I reached out. Yeah. I reached out to my instructor, and he said, let me figure out some stuff. And he said, hey, I found this. Try this. And he said, and I was able to schedule an appointment, go down to San Diego, took my test, and they were like, hey, we like you. We want to hire you. And I was like, hey, I like that. I want to be hired.
Sounds like a good idea, huh?
So now I am a realtor for Nationwide Real Estate, and I'm excited. I have a couple clients. I'm ecstatic because this is something I've always wanted to do, and I believe in building legacy or leaving legacy for my children and my heirs to come. So this is what I intend to do with this job, as well as do some other things on the other side once I've gotten a little more established. But yeah, so
Wow,
come see
wow.
Shelby, and it's Shelby Bowers at NRELiving.com.
Give it to us one more time.
Shelby Bowers at NRELiving.com. That's it.
So if someone also, how can someone reach you if they wanted to have you come and speak for them? She's an awesome speaker. She's an awesome preacher also. So if someone wants you to come and speak in terms of church, in terms of women's group, in terms of talking about your testimony, helping some people in that area, how can they reach you?
I can be reached at, my email is shelbybowers3@gmail.com.
Spell the whole thing for us. Spell it out for us.
Shelby Bowers, SHEL, B as in boy, Y, B as in boy, OWERS, 3@gmail.com. Or I can be reached at 562-842-4187.
All right. Encouragements for tough times. And you've seen that she's made it through the tough times, getting encouragement, giving encouragement. She gave us some great information, and she came through that and established a business. And so you can make it through tough times. She has. She's helped us, and we appreciate that. And I want to encourage you that you can make it through your tough times. I talk about several things in the book, Encouragements for Tough Times. There's a chapter in there called, and Shelby epitomized that chapter. Is a chapter called I'm Still Going to Make It. There's a chapter in there called Habits That Make Things Happen. So you need that kind of help. If you'd like to get a copy of the book, Encouragements for Tough Times, you can get it at Amazon.com. Go to this to the search and put in my last name, Shigg. You don't even have to remember the name of the book. Just put in my last name, Shigg. You won't get lost. There's only 3 authors on there on Amazon with that name, me, my brother, and my cousin. So you won't have to worry about it. You can even buy some of their stuff. I'll just make them give me a cut of it. But it's perfectly okay. Encouragements for tough times. Miss Shelby, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you taking out the time to help our viewers with encouraging them through their tough times.
I was happy to help. And everybody get that book, Encouragement for Tough Times.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hold on just a second. And we're going to go now. Thank you for joining us for Encouragement for Tough Times. And as we go, I do want you to remember one thing. I know times are tough, but guess what? You are too. Stay encouraged. Be blessed.